not stuck because you're lazy. You're stuck because you've been leveling the wrong stat. Most men are obsessed with maxing one thing: money, muscles, status, discipline, hustle. They pour everything into that one area, and they still feel empty, frustrated, behind. This video is about why that happens, and how to stop building a lopsided life that collapses the moment pressure hits. By the end of this, you'll see exactly what's missing, why more effort isn't the answer, and how to build a life that actually feels solid, not just impressive on paper. Let me tell you a story. There's a guy who lives in the gym 6 days a week, perfect form, clean meals, veins everywhere. But his bank account is empty, his sleep is terrible, his mind is loud, his relationships are shallow or broken. Then there's another guy. He makes great money, works non-stop, always busy. But his body hurts. He's tired all the time. He can't sit alone in silence without grabbing his phone. And then there's the disciplined guy. Cold showers, early mornings, no excuses. But no joy, no creativity, no connection, just rules and pressure. All three are doing something right, and all three are quietly losing. Because life doesn't work like a video game where one maxed stat carries you through everything. Life punishes imbalance. When you overdevelop one area, the neglected areas don't just stay neutral, they decay. They rot quietly in the background until one day they collapse and take everything with them. That's the trap no one warned you about. We're taught to specialize, pick one thing, go all in, and sacrifice everything else. And yes, focus matters. But obsession without balance turns strength into weakness. A strong body with a weak mind breaks under stress. A sharp mind with a weak body burns out faster. Money without health becomes medical bills. Discipline without meaning becomes prison. Here's the truth most people avoid. Your life is a system, and systems fail at their weakest point. You don't rise to your strongest stat, you fall to your weakest one. Think about it. You can have insane motivation, but if your sleep is bad, you crash. You can have great plans, but if your emotions run wild, you self-sabotage. You can have money, but if you don't know who you are, you waste it trying to feel something. That's why max one thing never works long term. Because real life doesn't reward extremes, it rewards integration. Now let's get concrete. There are a few core areas every man is responsible for. Ignore one, and the rest will suffer. Not someday, not eventually, immediately. First, the body. Not just looking good, but functioning well. Strength, cardio, mobility, energy. Your body is the engine. If the engine is weak, everything else runs slower. When your body is neglected, focus shrinks. You start overthinking because your body can't burn stress properly. Second, the mind. Not intelligence, not IQ, but mental clarity. Your ability to sit in silence, control your reactions, think without panic, and to choose instead of react. A strong mind doesn't mean no emotions. It means emotions don't own you. When the mind is weak, small problems feel huge. You escape instead of facing things head on, and you numb yourself with noise, food, and scrolling. The third is purpose. This is where most people lie to themselves. Purpose is not a job title. It's not money. It's not about being productive. Purpose is knowing what you're building, why it matters to you, and who you are becoming. Without purpose, discipline just feels pointless. You'll always quit eventually because suffering without meaning breaks people. Fourth, relationships. Not popularity, not attention, but real connection. One or two people you can be honest with. People who ground you. People who see you clearly. When this is missing, you chase validation. You perform instead of live. And you feel alone even in the crowds. And number 5, environment. Your space, your routines, your inputs, what you see, what you hear, what you consume. Your environment either supports your growth or quietly drags you down every day. Now, here's where people mess up. They hear this and think, so I need to improve everything at once. No, that's another trap. You don't max everything, you balance everything. Think less, max level, and more stable foundation. You don't need a perfect body, you need a capable one. You don't need monk level focus, you need control. You don't need a grand life mission, you need direction. You don't need dozens of friends, you just need a few real ones. Balance doesn't mean average, it means nothing is dangerously weak. This is why some people look calm even under pressure. Not because life is easier for them, it's because pressure doesn't hit a single fragile point. Stress spreads across the system instead of snapping it. Let me introduce you to the real problem. The reason most men never build this kind of life is because imbalance feels good at first. Maxing one stat gives fast rewards. Gym gains show quickly, money builds status, and discipline gives identity. However, balance is slower, quieter, less flashy. No one claps for you when you go to bed on time, when you meditate for 5 minutes, when you call someone you trust, when you clean your room. But those small things prevent massive breakdowns later. Imbalance is exciting. Balance is boring. Until imbalance ruins your life, that's usually how it plays out. You push hard in one area and you neglect the rest. You tell yourself, I'll fix it later. Later never comes. Because success in one area creates pressure to maintain it. The fitter you get, the more you fear losing it. The richer you get, the more you fear slowing down. The stricter you get, the more you fear relaxing. so you double down, and neglected areas fall even further behind. That's how people end up successful and miserable. That's how burnout happens. That's how men hit their late 20s or 30s and feel lost. Not because they failed, but because they built something incomplete. Now here's the shift. Stop asking, how do I improve faster? Start asking, what's the weakest part of my life right now? Not the most embarrassing, not the most painful. The weakest. The one that would break first under stress. That's where your next effort goes. If your body is weak, start moving. If your sleep is bad, fix that before anything else. If your mind is noisy, learn to sit still. If you feel empty, reconnect with purpose. If you're isolated, build one real connection. You rotate focus, but never abandon the others. That's how real growth compounds. Small, steady upgrades across the whole system. Not heroic bursts, not extremes. Consistency. Think of it like this. You're not trying to become a god at one thing. You're trying to become reliable at life. Reliable energy, reliable emotions, reliable discipline, reliable direction. That's power. And here's the key moment that most people miss. When you balance your life, progress actually speeds up, because a healthy mind gives you more focus. A calm mind improves decisions. Purpose fuels discipline, and connection stabilizes emotions. Everything feeds everything else. You stop forcing progress and you start supporting it. That's when life feels lighter, even when you're working hard. You don't feel like you're constantly catching up. You feel grounded. And that's the goal. Not perfection, not dominance. Stability. A life that doesn't fall apart when things go wrong. Because they will go wrong. And when they do, you don't need one maxed stat. You need a solid foundation. So stop trying to win life by maxing one stat. Stop building a body while neglecting your mind. Stop chasing money while ignoring your health. Stop chasing discipline while avoiding meaning. Build your entire life. Strength everywhere, weakness nowhere. Quietly, slowly, daily. That's how you stop feeling stuck. That's how you stop burning out. That's how you actually level up. Watch the next video. It shows how to rebuild your weakest stat without burning out.